They said the luminaries only spoke when something was about to end. The warning didn't come as words, it came as signs. Signals dropped, screens dimmed, machinery that had worked for years blinked once and never powered back on. A low hum settled over the outpost like pressure beneath the skin, and no one knew where it came from. No message was spoken, only understood. Something was coming. Then one appeared at the edge of their land. It didn't descend, it didn't approach. It simply was, hovering in the low light just beyond the fence line. It gave the impression of motion without movement, like a pattern repeating itself just outside the edge of understanding. Shapes circled within shapes, wheels, or maybe not. Its presence constantly shifting, as if obeying a geometry not native to this world. Surfaces hinted at depth, shimmered like heat above stone, never quite resolving. Something watched, but nothing blinked. The father was already awake. He always was before dawn. The fields demanded it. Bent beside the early crops, he worked the soil by hand. Not because it was efficient, but because he trusted his hands more than the sensors. His son worked beside him, silent for a time, then playful, then humming under his breath. They pulled stones, checked roots, tightened anchor lines. Their world was not clean, but it was intact. Then the father stood, not because he saw the luminary, but because he felt it. A kind of pressure behind the eyes, a stillness that pressed against the chest. He turned slowly. The boy straightened beside him, looking in the same direction. The humming stopped. Beyond the fence, the luminary waited. It did not move, but something moved within them. The message came as pain, not sound, not speech. It pressed into the mind like heat through bone. Bring your son to the summit, alone. Offer him to us. The figure vanished. They left at first light the next day. No one saw them go. The father took only what he needed, a ration pack, a utility blade, the plasma cutter sealed inside a cloth wrap. He carried no tools, no signal beacon, only the weight of the command. The son walked with him without complaint. Not because he understood, but because when the father moved with silence, it meant something was sacred. The terrain turned dry within hours. Rock gave way to harder strata, packed with scars from old tectonics and deep impacts no one remembered. Machines didn't map this region. The satellites had all blinked out long ago. Some said the luminaries had pulled them from the sky. At night, the stars shifted, not across the sky, but in brightness and placement. The son noticed once, pointed. The father didn't respond. On the second day, the wind thinned. Dust began to rise in patterns that looked like script, curling through the air before dispersing. The son stepped through one of them and turned to watch it break apart behind him. They stopped beneath an overhang that evening, the last before the climb. The father sat with his hands open in his lap. The son lay curled nearby, staring upward without speaking. The heat from the stones lasted longer than it should have. Above them, in the upper dark, there was movement. The summit was bare. No trees, no wind, no animals. The air itself felt wrong, heavy, as if it had been compressed too tightly and now refused to move. At the center stood the altar. It wasn't carved. It wasn't placed. It had always been there. A ring of black stone, low to the ground, seamless. The surface inside the ring shimmered, not bright, not hot, but steady, like something sleeping just beneath. The luminaries waited. They were not shaped like people, not shaped like anything the mind could hold for long. A ring of wheels, or were they wings? Interlocking, orbiting, embedded with eyes that did not blink. Their surfaces shimmered like stone and metal and something else entirely, their forms shifting subtly as if each glance rewrote them. The mind tried to reduce them to form. The soul knew better, 3 of them now, spaced evenly around the ring. None moved. Their presence was not motion. It was pressure, a weight beyond gravity. The father approached the ring. He unwrapped the tool. It came alive with a low thrum as the core activated. The glow pulsed. He stepped into the circle. The son followed, standing just outside. The father looked at his hands. He saw them shake. He closed his eyes. He raised the tool. There was no sound but breath. Then the space around them shifted. The central luminary moved. Its form unfolded, not breaking, not bending, but expanding into something more than shape. Light poured from it, not in rays, but in resonance. The father's body locked, caught by a force that neither harmed nor allowed movement. The tool dropped from his hand, and a voice spoke through the being. Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. The father wept without sound. The son stood still, as if frozen by something too vast to name. Then the ring brightened, not in light, but in meaning. The father and son stepped forward, into the circle, into something else. What happened inside was not movement, not vision, only knowing. They were seen, they were held, they were understood. Not judged, not weighed, not erased, just known. When they stepped out again, the sky had not changed. The summit remained still, but something in them had been set in place. They descended in silence. When they reached the edge of the outcrop, the son looked back once. The father did not. They did not speak again until they saw the fence line. The boy turned toward the wind, eyes ahead. The father placed his hand on the boy's shoulder, and they walked forward.